What's up, guys? We are talking about shoulder impingement rehab tonight, and mainly the three best exercises to strengthen your rotator cuff to impede that impingement from worsening and help correct it. Okay, so go back and watch last week's video if you did not see it. Last week, we kind of spent a lot of time going over the three best exercises to stretch away your impingement. You have to stretch first before you strengthen. So go back and watch that. That's very, very important to do. And tonight, I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to go through the exact exercises in the videos that I give my clients to do. Mostly 9 times out of 10, it helps them get them out of shoulder impingement completely, unless they're dealing with something more serious like a rotator cuff tear or some type of neck issue, right, that isn't kind of diagnosed yet, right? We don't know truly what's going on. So pay attention, kind of get your notebook out. We're going to kind of go into these kind of videos, and I'm going to give you the amount of sets and reps and hold time so you can go out and do this on your own. Not have to spend a lot of money finding a physical therapist or finding a chiropractor, getting injections, right? Or having to have surgery, right? Which is very, very expensive. So we're going to go over the three exercises in detail. And those three exercises are known as banded V wall slides. That is number one. Number two is Serratus anterior banded foam roller slides. Bit of a mouthful there. And number three is upside down kettlebell press with banded resistance. And you want you to do them in that exact order. So we'll start with the banded V wall slides first, move on to the Serratus anterior, and then move to the upside down kettlebell presses. So really, guys, you just need some bands, a foam roller to do these, and then you're also going to need a little bit of kettlebell, like a small kind of weighted kettlebell. And you can always use it at the gym because you're going to hold it upside down. So without further ado, let me share my screen. All right, so you guys should be able to see my screen. I wanted to do this in person, but unfortunately, I just did not have the time to do it. And I've had a lot of issues with my phone, which is why I'm recording this on my computer. So fingers crossed nothing happens to my computer here with technology and the way it's been going this week. But banded V wall slides, right? How many sets and reps should you do of this one? Typically, I'm recommending 2 to 3 sets of about 10 to 12 repetitions with a 3-second hold at the top with a lift off, which you'll see here as I kind of watch and we show you the video. So we'll make this bigger. Use a nice kind of wrap band here to put around your hands so there's good tension to recruit more of your external rotators, being your posterior deltoids and your external rotators here, like your teres minor. Right, so you're going to slide up as high as you can. Then you're going to kind of lift those arms up and hold for 3 seconds. So you guys can see here in the directions, we want to pull out into the band and slide our hands way up the wall and kind of rotate our thumbs outwards a little bit. We don't want them kind of pulling in too much, okay? So our elbows kind of staying in the V, and they come out a little bit as we reach up high to the ceiling, and then we lift off and hold from 1 to 5 seconds. So usually we pick 3 seconds to do. So make sure there's good tension around this band. Again, reaching all the way up. When you get up all the way, where your fingers are not as high as they can possibly go, they can't go any further, that's when you're getting a lift off and you're holding for 3 seconds. And you're going to work these kind of retractors a little bit, as well as the serratus anterior from getting that protraction of the shoulders forward. Okay, most important thing, you can't see this from the side, and I'm going to say this because everyone does this one wrong, is they tend to put their head down, they tend to put their head up. Your head's looking straight ahead. Your head should not move at all. And you should also engage your abdominals so your trunk doesn't move too much forward and back. Your trunk needs to stay put. Your head needs to stay put. As long as those two things stay put, you're going to do this exercise very well, and you're going to get a lot of benefit from it. So that's number one, V wall slides. If you have questions on it, comment below. If you're watching this on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, same thing, tag me, comment below, and I'll answer those questions for you, and we'll kind of dive into that. Next exercise here is a lot harder than that one. That's why you're doing this one second. Not first. These are standing serratus anterior wall slides with a foam roller using a band around your wrists. Okay, so sets and reps on this one typically are going to be a little bit lower than the previous one. This one, we're going to usually do 1 to 2 sets of about 5 to 8 repetitions. You don't need a lot of volume on this one because it's so hard to do if you do it properly. So you need a small looped band to put around your kind of wrists here. Then you need a foam roller to put on the wall. Typically a longer one works better, but if you have a short one, that's fine too. So pay attention to the cues here, right? The first thing we want to do is we want to start with our arms on the foam roller where our thumbs are almost at nose height, where our elbows are bent, and we want to push your upper back and your head away from the wall as you're doing a chin tuck. So see these 2 arrows here? You're trying to push your head back and your upper back away from the wall. So see this, right? Let me go back here a little bit. So watch this. His head's going to pull back and his body's going to pull back. So see that? That's the first movement, and you know you're doing it properly if your kind of back of your head is in line with your spine here, and we see these little ripples in your shirt. We should see these ripples here, and that means you're kind of protracting correctly, and that's what I look for in the clinic when I do this with people. So now as you do this, you want to push outwards into the band. So he's trying to kind of keep his elbows where they are, but he's trying to pull his wrists outside of his elbows like he's in a V. Okay. And then he's pushing his body away from the foam roller, coming up about 3 to 5 inches, holding at the top, squeezing outwards with that band to recruit those kind of external rotators here on the back of the shoulder, and then coming down and reset. Push the head, trunk away, come back up, do the same thing. So guys, if you're really good at this, you can hold that position the entire time as you push your head away and as you kind of keep everything kind of nice and engaged. If you're not good at it and you're learning, when you come back down to the bottom, give yourself time to reset. Give yourself time to recoup. Like, don't jump back into it. Like, form is the most important thing on this one. And another thing he's indicating here is that you don't want to arch your lower back. So see how his back is nice and flat here? If you arch your back and you cheat like this, all the stress and strain is going to go to the front of the shoulders or to the lower back here or here. And that's what we don't want. We want to use these muscles underneath, being your serratus anterior and your external rotators. So make sure you don't overarch your back. Keep your head relaxed. 1 to 2 sets, 5 to 8 repetitions. That is our second out of our 3 exercises. And moving on to our third and final exercise, probably the hardest of all 3. And hardest to set up as well. It's not really hard to me, but people struggle with the setup. So just make sure the band is pulling directly out to the side laterally, right? Because we want to recruit those external rotators. So if it's your left shoulder that's injured, this is what you want to do with your left arm here and the band pulling inwards. Okay. And wrap that band around the wrist or the forearm. That's where we want it. All right. So I'm going to play this for you. We'll blow it up. This one, just like the previous one, we do not want to use a lot of weight on. So we want to keep the weight pretty light. We're going to hold the kettlebell upside down to recruit more of our shoulder stabilizers, our internal and external rotators. Inner knee is going to be the one that's up in front of you where your knee's stacked right over your ankle. All right. Back leg is behind you, just straight. Our arms out at a kind of 45-degree angle like this. That band is attached to kind of 3 to 4 inches off of the ground there. It's a very thin band. It's not a lot of resistance. And it's a small enough loop where it's not going to slide on me as I go through this. If you don't have a loop in your band, just put it kind of over your hand and grip it so it's over the kettlebell. That way you can hold it as you go ahead and press. All right. So this band's going to pull us inwards, which means we have to use the outer shoulder muscles here to recruit and activate to keep our arm from going like this and dropping inwards. Okay. So we're using the opposing muscles here to stabilize. Keep your core engaged. You're going to press that arm up to the ceiling in the 30-degree scapular plane, which I just showed you, and then come back down to start. So bottoms up press in the scapular plane, trying to keep the kettlebell in a nice straight line. We'll play that one more time. So sets and reps on this one, I didn't mention it, is 1 to 2 sets, about 6 to 8 repetitions. You do not want to overdo it on this one. Go lightweight, keep it in that scapular plane out to the side. Keep those abs locked down, head relaxed, pressing up, coming back down. That's it, guys. Very simple, right? That band needs to be pulling inwards. I can't tell you how many times people do this wrong where it pulls the opposite way. And guys, if it pulls the opposite way, what's going to happen? You're going to recruit your internal rotators, which are already big and very strong. That's usually your issue, is your external rotators are very weak because they're so small, we rarely use them. Your internal rotators are very strong and very big. Okay, so if you have this band pulling the other way, you're not going to make it better. You're going to actually make it worse. So super important, have that band pulling in the correct direction, put that to the test, and that'll be that. Okay, so to recap, those are the 3 exercises that we went over in detail, right? So just to recap really quick, V wall slides with a band around the hands, you're doing that one first, right? We said 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 12 repetitions with a 3-second hold. Next one is standing serratus anterior wall slides with a band around the wrists using a foam roller. This one's about 1 to 2 sets of about usually 5 to 6 repetitions, maybe 8 at most. We don't want to do too much. 3-second hold at the top, no arching the lower back. And then the third and final one is banded upside down kettlebell press, using that band pulling inwards on the injured arm, and we're pressing in the scapular plane with a bottoms up kettlebell. Okay, so keep it light, usually 1 to 2 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions. So go and give those a try, guys. That's it for tonight. Very simple video. These are honestly 3 of the most effective exercises I've used with people to get them out of shoulder pain if they have impingement. So you have to make sure you know that you have impingement first by doing some of those diagnostic tests we did in the beginning of the month. So if you have not seen that first video on how to figure out if you have shoulder impingement, go back and watch that. And then these exercises should work for you. But these will not work for everyone, right? That's my disclaimer. These work for a lot of people, but they won't work for everyone, right? Sometimes you have to modify these. Sometimes it causes too much pain on the shoulder. Sometimes your rotator cuff's too weak to do some of these, and you have to regress them and modify them a little bit. And that's where a therapist comes into play. So if you're having issues with these, feel free to kind of comment down below, and I'll give you some kind of feedback on it. If you want to send me a video of you doing it, or if you want a different exercise to modify it, I'm happy to help you with that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. As always, we have new videos coming out every Wednesday. This is our very last one for the shoulder joint. So we're going to be releasing a new shoulder kind of guide for you guys that has all of these exercises and how to stretch it first and how to strengthen it second. So if you want that guide, comment shoulder down below. We will share that with you. That'll be done next week. Thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing again, and have a great rest of your day.